Well, American tariffs take hold a week from tomorrow. More and more Canadians are focusing on buying homegrown ingredients, which is tricky, especially ahead of the growing season. So helping us in the kitchen this morning is food writer Dan Clapson, co-author of the cookbook Prairie, which only uses things grown here. Perfect person to bring in on this. Yes. Dan, welcome. First, you got a whole spread in front of you here. Let's talk about what you're going to be making here.
Making a few different things. I was trying to think of, to me, what ingredients are iconically Albertan. So I thought I would stick with pork, which is a major protein raised here, as well as Saskatoon berries, which we were talking about before the break.
Big pro.
And also split peas, which are field pea that's grown all across the province.
Okay, great. Yeah. Now, what makes it tricky at this time of the year specifically to use homegrown ingredients?
I think people assume that winter is the worst time to cook local, but at this part of spring where you are kind of like yearning for fresher, brighter flavors, really nothing's growing yet. You know, it's still, it could snow tomorrow.
Yes.
So there's nothing local that's growing right now. So if you're picking up the carrots in the farmer's market or like rutabagas, what have you, they're almost going to have a bitter taste because it's sort of like it's literally the bitter end of what was grown last year. So I look to obviously dry ingredients, frozen ingredients, which is why I grabbed some Saskatoon berries and different things like that. Of course, proteins will always be local.
Okay, and what do you have here in front of you you're going to make us?
Well, I know you'll appreciate this. These are boneless dry ribs. This recipe's on eatnorth.com. Okay. I'm going to make honey dill dip, which is very famous in Saskatchewan.
Absolutely.
Not really famous at all in Alberta, which always surprises me. And Manitoba claims it as its own, but I feel like that's not true.
Yeah, that's Manitoba.
Yeah. Manitoba, like step off, you know. Anyway, all it is really is mayo, pardon me, honey, and then fresh herbs. I'm using dill, parsley, and cilantro today. Yeah. There we go. So, I mean,
and this can really spruce things up in a hurry. And if you have any prairie friends from Saskatchewan, you will certainly
appreciate this.
Catch their attention.
And again, it's I would say it's most famous for the pork ribs, the combo there. But you can put it with anything from like grilled meats to even toasted bread.
Now, what would be your advice for people who are now sort of rethinking their grocery store visits and they want to support more local, more Canadian goods, but they don't know where to start? What would your advice be?
I mean, it seems so simple, but honestly, checking the packaging is the most important thing. I will say a lot of grocers now are really doing a good job of making it very clear what's from Canada. You usually see that maple leaf on most price tags, which is really great. But I mean, if you don't, going to a farmer's market's always an easy one too.
Sure.
Although not every stall at the farmer's market is local. So I mean, you should really still check the
sign
tags.
there too.
Yeah, but if you want to look for your, again, like local farmers or like pork producers or berry farms, what have you, definitely go to a farmer's market and just talk to the people at the stand. That's the best thing to do.
Do you have anything that's sort of like a hidden gem on the prairies that you use a lot that may be overlooked or sort of a secret to you?
I mean, I am going to shout out split peas. I do feel like they're pretty much only used for soup, and this recipe is from my cookbook Prairie, and it uses them in sort of a fresher fashion. So they're cooked down, of course, but then they're mashed up with a whole bunch of fresh herbs and vinegar and served with a whipped cottage cheese. So again, it's a nice, fresh way to use an ingredient that you might just think is good for like soups and stews.
Okay, wonderful. Now let's get to the Saskatoon berries because we had a debate in the studio where, frankly, people were ganging up on me that Saskatoon isn't a superior berry. Can you make a sales pitch for Saskatoons?
I mean, I'm from Saskatoon, so I think it's like having to like the Rough Riders if you're from Saskatchewan. Saskatoon berries are honestly not my favorite, but if you do, but they're local, so we love local. I'm just being honest here at CTV Morning Live. You cook them down with, some sugar, even like a bit of vinegar, some brightness like a lemon juice, and a bit of aromatics. I put in cinnamon in there as well as allspice. I do think it makes a nice sauce. This is just a simple sweet vanilla bread pudding. Yeah, but I mean, like, sometimes I eat them and I just wish we had blueberries here. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I thought I had an eye on that one, but I really like Saskatoon berries, and maybe you'll learn to love them as you pursue local. Dan, thanks so much for coming in. A lot of inspiration, all this sort of stuff you can be finding right here in Alberta, in the prairies. Dan's cookbook is available online. You can also learn more by visiting danclapson.com.